Am I wrong for being more excited about my mom's pregnancy than my stepmom's? I, 16F, have divorced parents. They divorced when I was 10 years old after my dad cheated. The court gave my parents 50-50 custody. My dad, 48, quickly married his mistress Molly, 36, fake name, and he also adopted Molly's two other kids, Grace, 10, and Oliver, 7, both fake names. I didn't find out about my dad's cheating until I was 13 and my uncle, on my mom's side, let it slip while drunk during a family gathering. When I confronted my dad he tried denying it but the stuttering and the red face gave it away. After that I lost all respect for my dad and Molly. I don't like Molly. She split up my family and keeps trying to force a relationship between us, even introducing me to her friends as her daughter or her special daughter. I've asked her to stop but she won't. She even tries calling me about random things when I'm at my mom's house. I used to pick up but now I just ignore them. I don't see her as a mother figure and I never will. My mom, 39, took the divorce hard, but slowly started rebuilding her life and 2 years ago she met Greg, 49. Greg is the greatest. He and I get on very well and we have the same interests. He also doesn't try to force a relationship between us and gives me all the space I need. Recently my dad and Molly sat me, Grace and Oliver down to announce that Molly was pregnant. Grace and Oliver were ecstatic and I congratulated them but wasn't jumping up and down as much as Grace and Oliver. Something about her being the one to have my half-sibling is just wrong. The woman who split up a family is now starting her own with my dad. Well, not long after my mom came to me and told me she and Greg were expecting as well. Of course I was more excited for this since my mom is like my best friend. Greg and I have a fantastic relationship and I know that they'd be great parents. I guess Molly realized I was quite happy about something and asked what. Here's where I might be the Instead of just saying my mom was pregnant, I kind of went on a rant about how excited I was and how I can't wait to meet the baby and how I wanted to plan a huge baby shower etc. Molly nodded along and didn't say much else. I didn't think much of it until my dad came into my room that night and sat on my bed. He says Molly's feelings were really hurt that I didn't show the same excitement for her pregnancy than I did for my mom's and that I shouldn't feel any different towards her because they are both carrying my half-siblings and that I needed to apologize to her and fix my attitude. I listened to him but the more he talked the more angry I got. I told him that if she wasn't a homewrecker then I'd be more happy and they shouldn't expect the same treatment from me that I give my mom because I have little respect for them and their blended family they force down my throat. My dad went off at me, saying what he and my mom went through was none of new business and if I wasn't such a brat then I'd realize that him and Molly are trying their hardest to get through to me and have a relationship. He said I was 16 and needed to stop acting so juvenile etc. He then took my phone, I'm typing this on my laptop, grounded me and left without another word, refusing to hear me out. It's only Tuesday and I still have a whole week until next Monday with them. Tensions are high but honestly I don't feel like apologizing or starting to act different around Molly. However I know that he's my dad and I probably shouldn't have called her a homewrecker and she's pregnant but I just don't know what to do, so like AITA, should I apologize and move on? Edit. So I posted this yesterday and I want to quickly clarify that the timing doesn't match up because I low-key wrote it in a fit of rage on Tuesday, when everything went down, and I kept it in drafts then yesterday I decided to post it because my friend said I should. Anyways, I didn't expect this to blow up so fast. I know I sound like one of those AI generated things right now but I'm serious, this was crazy. I really want to thank some people because it kind of felt like a group chat of support. I cried reading them because it's been a lot so thanks for the support and stuff. Also from reading the comments I do want to clarify some other things. Lots of people mentioned family therapy and to be honest I can't ever imagine my father agreeing to therapy. He's not very big on emotions. He's either happy or mad and I think it also reflects on how he cheated on my mom and won't hear my feelings out. I just don't think he has a very high EQ or whatever. No, I don't think he's a sociopath, but not very understanding of others' emotions. Some people asked if my mom or dad bought my phone because if my mom did then legally he had to give it back or something. But my parents actually bought my phone together like 2 weeks before they told me they were getting a divorce. I think they thought it'd help me through the divorce or something but it just caused me to discover Billie Eilish at 10. So I guess they both have control over my phone. Others say I should take a look at the custody and try to get my mom full custody. But like he's my dad, you know? I dunno, I don't want to cut him off and we do have good memories. I just have little respect for him. Like it sounds confusing but I don't want to cut him off but I also don't like him. I think I'm stuck in the middle and I don't want to stress my mom out more with her pregnancy and with custody battles. Also I do blame my dad for the affair, not just Molly. However I didn't write much about it since it was more about Molly's pregnancy and my mom's pregnancy than my dad's infidelity and I've mentioned in the first post that I have little respect for him about it. But since it's been a week, since I first wrote the post, I do have a little update. By little I mean long ass update. So like the next morning I got ready for school and stuff. I get up at like 6:30 to 7ish. Molly usually doesn't get up until 8 and my dad sometimes doesn't wake up until like 10. He works from home, so I'm usually alone in the mornings, which I don't mind, but I was thinking about it on the bus the whole way to school and I told my friends about it and they all agreed with me which was nice, but a few of them did say maybe I should just apologize because I live with them and stuff. So after school we went home. My dad was waiting in the lounge and I tried to sneak upstairs but he called me in. Molly was also there and I knew I was in for it. He started by asking if I was ready to apologize. While I probably would have, seeing them sit there all disappointed in me like they were innocent and I was evil struck a nerve so I sort of muttered I'm sorry and then of course my dad went on another rant about how that wasn't enough and he's really upset with me blah blah blah. I, naturally, started crying and quite literally just walked out the front door. I didn't have anything though since I had already dropped my bag on the floor at home. So I just aimlessly walked around my neighborhood for a little bit and I was really tempted to just walk to my mom's house, but I knew I'd probably get another lecture and it was like 20 minutes away, so I went home and my dad went off at me again for walking out during conversation and stuff, but it's not a conversation if two adults are just yelling at a minor. So I apologized again for walking out, but I told him I was upset about the whole baby thing and explained how I'm closer to my actual mom than Molly, how I'm hurt that they split up my family and they never tried to give me space or fix anything, so of course I'm happier for my mom. Then I got another lecture which made me want to rip my hair out, and I yelled back and we went back and forth in a bit of a screaming match, except it ended in my dad yelling that if I hate them so much. I never said I hated them, I was just telling them how I felt and brought up the affair one too many times, then I should go stay with my mom for the rest of the week. So long story short, I ended up at my mom's and I felt really bad because I didn't want to intrude on her and Greg's time since they weren't expecting this. But they were really chill about it and Greg, being the absolute goat he is, agreed to do a Star Wars marathon on Friday with me to make me feel better. It's Wednesday evening at this point. When mom found out the reason for me being at her house, she was furious with dad and said she would handle it, etc. But then I started crying again because mom was pregnant and I didn't want to stress her. She and Greg calmed me down and I went to bed. So from Thursday to now I haven't heard from my father. My parents' custody is 1 week with my mom and 1 week with my dad, and it's going into the week when I'm actually supposed to be with my mom, so I won't have to see him for another week. Things are kind of weird though because I feel like this has been blown out of proportion. I understand calling Molly a homewrecker was mean and I should be more mature than that, but I didn't really think my dad would fully kick me out. I really want to hear from him soon because I'm scared he's never going to talk to me again or give up custody rights. I know what he did is bad, but mom has moved on and is happier, and I think he and Molly were trying. I told my school counselor about it and ended up having a panic attack in her office because I was so stressed and scared and my mom had to get called in. My mom said she's starting me in therapy and Greg hasn't said much about it but is always asking if I'm okay, which is nice. Yes, we did our Star Wars marathon and it made me feel so much better. Mom has been really mad at dad and I'm really scared that I'm harming both my mom and Molly's pregnancy because that wasn't the intention. Everything is very quiet now though and I don't even know if my dad is going to contact me. He gave me my phone back while he was calling my mom to come and get me. I've been texting him but I'm left undelivered. So that's the current situation. Sorry for it being so long. I'd if you guys would want another update if anything else happens. I really hope my dad texts me and we can talk it out, but talking things out aren't really his thing. He just expects apologies and to move on, so yeah, Ike. But literally, thank you so much for all the nice things, it's helping literally so much. I've replied to some comments and I want to read more comments and advice since you guys are being honest about it.